Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed that last panel. And
Fantastic panel.
of course,
Yes.
again, for the second year, and hopefully next year will be a third time in a row, because always good to have that information. Very informative from Suzanne and Ross, so thank you again for that. Now, we're on to game exhibit number 12 for the weekend.
12.
Yep. There's a couple games on the list to the left that we're not going to be covered because we never got the information we needed from them. But the ones that we are going to cover are fantastic. You should enjoy the gameplay. And we do have one giveaway this round. But first, let's take a look at Zed. That is Zed, made by Eager Games. The guy behind Eager Games that founded it, Chuck Carter, is one of the few minds behind the game that shaped a lot of people's gaming experience back in the day, called Myst. Also behind games like Command and Conquer, and also TV shows like, what was it? Which one was
Babylon
it? Babylon 5. Yeah, Babylon 5. Chuck Carter.
This man is an amazing artist, and I have to say, out of all of the games that we've seen this year that are, not out yet, this has been one that I am ridiculously excited for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it has that. Even though we do mention Chuck's experiences making all these very iconic games, this one has the same effect that I think Myst had on me, at least from the demo that I've played and everything that we've seen. But it is not the same in any way, and I think that they are very different, separate games. But that little bit of soul that Myst had, I can see really seeping through Zed. Mm-hmm. They are trying to make sure that everyone understands Zed is its own game.
Yeah, we had the opportunity to interview Chuck, and
he also did a panel.
I feel bad because I can't remember the other guy that was with him, but another guy that's working on the game with him doing the engine work, and he mentioned that obviously it's like generally speaking in the same kind of genre as Myst, but it's very much a different game. Like,
Yes.
You don't want to. They make sure they don't want to say, "Oh, this guy made Myst. This is going to be a Myst clone." It's not at all.
Yeah, and this game takes place in the mind of a old man dying of cancer who also has dementia, and dementia really deteriorates the mind. But there is part of his mind that is still there and is still working, and you are basically like exploring this man's mind, trying to piece together the memories that have been lost. And I think Chuck even said during his interview that the individual knows that you are there and doesn't want you to be there. So it's very interesting, very exciting. I will say that.
With that said, there's no violence in this game. That was one of the major points. So he's not stopping you through violence. He's stopping you through these puzzles that you're gonna have to solve.
Right. And let me tell you, in the demo, there is a downloadable demo where you can play. It's basically just a bunch of art pieces that they've worked on. It is extremely well done. It is a very relaxing demo, and I remember going through and starting it out and understanding that it is supposed to be in the mind of an individual with dementia. And so I was looking around and I was like, oh wow, okay, so this is really abstract, and this is really and I was starting to like just accept everything. I was like, yeah, everything's just the way it is. And I get to a point, and you know, there are some like signs or whatever on a railing, and I get to this point and it's like, oh, there's a bridge out. Oh, those symbols. Oh, I have to go back and figure out the symbols in the order. So I turn right back around and I look at the symbols. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's how you're supposed to do it. And I go back and I put some stuff in. And there's also this really great point where the saturation just completely shifts and everything starts out extremely black and white. And then I didn't even notice it happen until it had already happened. And I go around a corner and then all of a sudden, extremely vivid, beautiful color just all across my screen playing this game. Like, it is so... I don't know how to explain it. It's definitely an experience that you have absolutely no reason not to try right now, because there is the free art demo that they have.
Well, people are mentioning the demo actually takes up a lot of space even after
completion. It is 4 gigs in space.
I'm guessing that the game is probably not optimized at all, so it's just like out there for you to try. I mean, because it is just an art demo pretty much.
Yeah, and they are making this in Unreal, right?
Yes,
Unreal 4.
Little Tin Man, the answer to your question, we don't know yet.
They just had a successful Kickstarter, so they are working. Well, actually, right now they're taking a break.
Yeah, they're taking a couple of breaks, a couple of weeks off from doing that. But their current estimate is sometime 2017.
Another thing too is, God, what was I gonna say? I'm losing my train. These days are wearing down on me.
Yeah.
Crap. Now I forget what I was gonna say. Well, anyway, what do you think about moving on to the next game?
Let's do it.
Okay with that. Yeah.
All right. Hope you enjoyed that. Next game is a game called Grave Danger. If I can... There we go. is Grave Danger by JB Gaming. You can find them on Twitter at JBG Studio. It's going to be out for PC, but no price announced. This is a very cool artistic, like
sort of adventure platformer.
Metroidvania.
Yeah, Metroidvania. Definitely.
And the cool mechanic is that you can switch between the three characters to help you traverse.
Yes.
What does the mage do? I couldn't pick that up.
I think the mage has a charge attack and also a faster attack. And then the gunslinger, I believe, can climb walls and shoot stuff. And then the little skeleton dude can throw. Yeah, the Reaper throws his scythe and can also fly across gaps. I believe that's what I got from that.
Yeah, the Reaper can get across gaps and get through some of the traps, like you just saw it go through the buzzsaws there.
Yep.
I think you want to use the mage for dealing with swarms of enemies, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. And
okay.
Yeah, the gunslinger is probably good offensively as well. So I particularly enjoy the way this looks. It reminds me of some good. I mean, there's a lot of like these Metroidvania style side scrollers with with some platforming and puzzles. But I particularly like the aesthetic of this. For some reason, even though it's definitely modern looking, for some reason it makes me feel I don't know, like back in the
nostalgic.
It makes me feel a little bit nostalgic.
I think it's the I feel like it must be the art, because the art has such a charm to it.
Yeah, actually, you know what the art kind of looks like in a smaller scale?
What's that?
Day of the Tentacle.
Yeah, I can see that. Higher resolution Day of the Tentacle.
Yeah, and on a smaller scale, obviously. I think it has to do with the colors a lot too.
The colors in this game are very, very cool. The design in general is just really great. Having to switch between different characters to do different tasks. Like at this part of the video, trying to take on a swarm of enemies as the Reaper and not quite. Just barely hanging on and having to switch out.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like this can get hard sometimes with
definitely
dealing with the enemies and stuff like that. So, because I mean, at first glance, I'd be like, oh, it's just like a simple platformer, but
no, it's
but then it's like
definitely...
it sneaks up on you and kicks your ass.
And it's that old school Metroidvania thing where it's not just like, okay, you're going around and you're shooting things and everything just dies really quickly and there's no challenge. Like, you really have to figure out, okay, who's the best character for this particular combat. How am I going to do this? It's going to be a slog. I'm not just going to be able to kill everything before it gets to me. I might lose some health. What options do I have?
Right.
All while trying to traverse the level and get to wherever you're trying to get to. And honestly, this is at first glance, I wasn't. It didn't really catch my eye. But the more I've seen, the more I really want to play. So I can't wait for it to actually come out.
And. Let's see. What do you want to move on? If we end up, because we had to cut a couple of games because of lack of information again, and it was a shorter exhibit in general. So if we get done early, maybe we'll do what we did last time and replay through some of your favorites.
Good idea.
So we'll go ahead and move on to the next game, which
was
is
a
Glory
Game Jam
Defenders.
game.
Yes, it was one of the IRX 16 or IRX Game Jam 16. Game Jam games. So there are 3 of them, and the winner will receive cool prizes. This one is called. We don't have gameplay because it was a Game Jam game and we didn't record any of our own. Because we're smart like that. And but Glory Defenders.
To be fair, we
simple.
have been kind of busy.
Yeah, Glory Defenders is probably, we discussed it, it's probably the most developed game out of the 3. It's a very simple game. But it's the most developed, and it's actually very fun if you're into like the RTS and the tower defense type of deal, with a little bit of base building. That's what this really encompasses.
It does a fantastic job of kind of putting you in the setting. Like I never felt like it was just something that was there. Like every aspect of the game felt like it was intentional. Like there was an intent behind it that I felt was a really strong selling point for this game.
Very good planning, I would say.
Yeah. The upgrade path is also kind of a bit of fun. It took me a little bit to get used to the base building that we were talking about, but I mean, by which I mean it took me two maps, and the variable difficulty. I don't know if you guys have played it on the higher difficulties, but it's a bitch.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Like the first couple of times I ran through the maps, I was like, "Oh, I'll do this on easy just to kind of get the hang of it." And it was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no, this is simple and straightforward. I'm gonna bump this one up." And oh my god, it was destroying me. Like,
Easy to learn, impossible to master.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And if you play it on easy and on the first level only, or on the first map, and at first glance, this game is like, okay, well, I did like 3 things, I win. And then if you play like Rev did and continue on, you're gonna be sorely disappointed with yourself as you get your ass kicked by the AI. So it was a really good job by what the hell? I don't have the notes up. Can you tell
Abyssal Arts?
Yeah, no,
No.
not Abyssal Arts.
Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong thing.
Archaic
Bit. Sorry,
Yeah, Archaic Bits.
I was one game down.
And you can
That's the
find them
next
on
game.
Twitter at Archaic Bit.
Yep.
And so
chat.
very good game jam entry. Good job, Archaic Bit. And go play it for yourself because it is free. Free on itch.io. So do that.
The link is in the chat for all of you. Yeah, no, I actually had I didn't play the harder difficulties because I was like, oh yeah, I get this. I'm okay with being great at this game. But yeah, definitely check it out. For a free game jam game, you can get a lot of time out of it.
There you go. Next up is City of the Shroud. That is City of the Shroud by Abyssal Arts. You can follow the dev on Twitter at Shibusuki, I think is how you pronounce it. It's going to be out for PC, but no price announced.
Holy complicated looking, but so much fun.
Yes. The fighting mechanic specifically is something that really that I think we should really touch on. So it is actually real time. It's not turn based, but there are like cooldowns and whatnot. But that ring that you see pop up, that is actually how this is a tactical game mixed with sort of fighting game elements, and that is how you chain together attacks and combos to unleash like much larger attacks, or all while your opponent is blocking and moving and trying their best to not succumb to your attacks. One thing that I am a little curious about is whether or not this is a mainly online game, or if the story is based around offline play, because they have a blurb on the website talking about how the story only happens once. Writing the game in response to the actions of its players means the City of the Shroud will be a live campaign, and once the dust has settled, the story will be finished. Players will be able to go back and relive the tale, but in order to experience the true nature of the game, in order to carve your mark upon it, you must join the struggle of your faction and be there when they need you the most. So I think...
So what happens, because I feel like I remember them a while ago mentioning about this. I think what happens is that when this game launches, there's going to be a set amount of time that the multiplayer will be available, and that is the only time I think that you're going to be able to play live with other people and shape the world that the game takes place in.
And the game will actually like change depending on what actually happens with the different factions fighting and winning and losing and stuff.
The world is going to be alive through that. However, since it's a set amount of time, when that ends, the winner is the winner. You won't be able to do that anymore. You won't be able to change the world anymore. But obviously, it's not like you're going to pay for it and not be able to play the game again. You're going to be able to play the game again, but it's going to be through the same whatever direction that the live gameplay had taken it.
This is something really new, and I'm really curious to
Keaton
see
White in the
how
chat is the dev, and maybe he can clarify that.
Maybe
he just dropped in, so I don't know if you want to repeat your question.
Oh, we are curious about the story elements being dynamically controlled by the players online, and sort of how that's going to work. And maybe if you could like clear a little bit of that up for us, that would be awesome. The game itself looks very, very cool, very in depth.
The art I like this.
Oh, the art looks great.
I don't know what what it's called. That kind of a it's almost like matte. The colors on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
subdued.
It's gritty and subdued, and I like it a lot.
Yeah. I think it really fits the aesthetic of the game. It's so the game is primarily single player with online multiplayer, and I guess the online multiplayer. Okay, so the story gets player choices over the net. So yes, right. So you do have an effect on the actual story, which is kind of really cool. Yeah, in a grander scheme, which it blows my mind.
I feel like what's going to happen too is that when this comes out, everyone's going to suck at first because there's going to be a learning curve. So it's going to just be people flailing at each other, and then people are going to get really good at it. And then...
the way that the dev explains it is, think of a massively online democratic D&D.
Okay.
which is awesome.
And they also talk about making it very, very easy to learn. So you learn the core mechanics first, and then so you have this base of skill that you can then build on top of.
Yes, I'm excited to try it
Looks
out personally.
very, very cool.
I'm going to leave my stamp on this world. Will you?
Yeah.
abyssalarts.com/shroud. Go check it out.
Yes.
We'll probably come back to some of these trailers since we're ahead of time on this. And
next up, we have a giveaway.
Yes, the giveaway game, last game of that we're going to present this exhibit, and then we'll repeat some trailers. So check out Kyub. That's not it. There you go. Get the gameplay. So we just had our mind blown. We feel like idiots now.
Right?
We've been for this entire time we've been pronouncing this Kyub, and someone pointed out, wouldn't it be called Cube?
Yes, it would be.
And it makes so much sense now. It makes so much sense.
I feel like such an idiot.
So first thing is that there's a giveaway for Cube. And
for Cube,
yeah, there's a giveaway. It is an Xbox One code, so let me preface that. Xbox One. So if you don't have an Xbox One, or if you don't know someone with an Xbox One, you might not want it. But if you do, please. Otherwise, you can get this on Xbox One for $19.99.
I was going to say the part about this that impresses me most is that this was built by a
bunch of students.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't they like secondary, so high school students?
Oh, were they high school? I thought it was a college. I could be wrong. But what's really great too is I was looking at this game last night, and I just searched it on YouTube, and I found the first trailer that they released about a year ago. Mm-hmm. The game looks so different. Like they had all the like the core mechanics and the basic look in that original trailer, but they really stepped it up with the game. They made it look so much better, and it already looked pretty good to begin with, but it looks so much better than it used to, and it looks so much harder, so much more chaotic, and so much more death than it used to have.
So Rev, we talked about this yesterday, and Rev made a comment about it being the overall like embodiment of a game.
This is yeah, exactly. This is like, I'm watching this video and I see the epitome of a game, and that sounds really snooty, I know, and I'm not trying to like classify things as games or not games, but like when somebody mentions to you, I'm playing a video game, like you don't think,
God, look at that world though. Jeez, sorry.
Yeah. Like to me, something like this just pops to it. Like it has that kind of Nintendo quality feel.
Yeah, how everything's bright and shiny and crisp.
It's very clean.
Yeah.
It's friendly. I mean, it may not be the most simple game.
I was going to
say
play. It looks difficult, actually.
Definitely going to be up there with like Dark Souls and whatnot in terms of.
It does start you out. I have seen gameplay of the first maybe 2 or 3 stages, and it doesn't beat you up that hard starting out. Like the first, I think maybe like 11 or 12 stages, your biggest fear is going to be falling off. But then they start ramping up that difficulty and they start killing you over and over and over again. And man, it is definitely something else. Like they took a very simple premise of, hey, it's a cube rolling game and you're trying to get to the end, and they completely turned it on its head and made it what I feel the original developers of those old cube rolling games actually wanted their games to be.
Man. Again, there is a giveaway for this Xbox One code only. If you don't have an Xbox One, I'm sorry. Because I don't have an Xbox One, and so that means I can't play this, unfortunately. So I'm a little jealous. If someone wants to loan me like $400 for an Xbox One.
No.
Oh, is that all it is
$400 for well, the new one's coming out.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. So they're price dropping. Still not going to get one.
Probably
Sorry. Microsoft screwed themselves.
All right. So I have 2 codes to give away. I will do that now.
Dun, 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 dun.
Winners
Did I win?
are...
Did I win?
Winners are...
Not me.
Not Garrett, because he said that he doesn't have an Xbox One before he already clicked it. Mr. 11. And also, same thing with Latan and Dan. He does not. He thought it was a Steam thing. And Zed the lawyer. Congratulations.
Huzzah! Congratulations.
All right.
Have fun raging.
I will.
Tell us how you like it.
I will whisper those codes to you shortly. In the meantime, which trailer do you want to re-see over the next 10 minutes?
I want to see.
Find where we were again.
I want to see
Oh.
Zed.
Yeah,
see
Zed,
again?
and then do Zed, and then do Grave Danger again.
All right.
Yeah.
Zed
Yep.
it is. Again, go download Zed's demo if you have 4 gigabytes.
It's a little large.
It's okay. It's worth it because it's a beautiful game. Again, Zed is made by Chuck Carter, one of the minds behind Myst, Command & Conquer, Babylon 5, and a whole bunch of other stuff that you've probably played and or watched. He's also, just a little piece of information if you missed his panel yesterday, he's also, his daytime job is working as a concept artist for NASA.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, hey, instead of doing Gravedigger, or Grave Danger, sorry, because we have the dev in the stream, let's do City of Shroud again.
And I'm the one that's been drinking nonstop.
It's been a long weekend.
That was not a dig. Actually, we were very excited for his game.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually curious if that's something that's happened within the dev cycle a lot, where you're tired and you say the name of your game and it comes out wrong, like the guy from South Park.
Okay, here we go. Sorry. Gameplay for City of the Shroud. That was what you were talking about, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. City of the Shroud. Well,
Yes. And that takes us pretty close to time.
Yes.
So I'm really glad we got to show that.
Up next, what do we have?
We've got a panel.
We got a panel.
Which
panel? I'm losing track of everything.
We have a panel.
No, we don't have a panel. We have live gameplay.